You're the most amazingly, astounding, wonderful girl.
The Manic Pixie Dream Girl has become a stock character we're able to spot from a mile away. But what about her male equivalent, the Manic Pixie Dream Boy? The MPDB is a paradox. He's youthful and innocent, but also holds sage-like wisdom.
I intend to live an extraordinary life, to be remembered. So I'd say if I have any fears, it would be to not do that.
He's got it all figured out. The Manic Pixie Dream Boy has a deeper insight into how the universe works. Thanks to his unique outlook, he often takes on the role of a life coach, helping to reorient someone who's at a crossroads, often a female protagonist.
There's no such thing as normal. Just to be a human being is hard.
But it can also be a friend, family member, or larger groups.
A doctor's mission should be not just to prevent death, but also to improve the quality of life.
He is non-threatening, upbeat, and possesses an innocence that puts him at odds with the more cutthroat, supposedly realistic adult world.
It is a crappy cup of coffee.
No, it's the world's best cup of coffee.
And he's temporary.
He exists now, only in my memory.
For one reason or another, he tends to be gone by the end of the story, leaving only his lessons behind.
No matter what anybody tells you, words and ideas can change the world.
And he can even feel like a magical spirit or figment of someone's imagination.
Some have argued that the MPDB is just as toxic as his female equivalent.
I'm busy, you're weird, goodbye.
And that if you object to one, you should reject both. But it's important to consider societal context when the genders are reversed in a trope like this. While the Manic Pixie Dream Girl reinforces a lot of things women are already pushed to be, always agreeable and fun, focused on her man's happiness and only there to support him,
you gotta hear this one song, it'll change your life, I swear.
The Manic Pixie Dream Boy challenges the gender status quo by representing a desire for men to be things they're traditionally not, openly communicative, sacrificing, and supportive of a woman's independent fulfillment.
I love how independent my wife is.
While the MPDB can be more or less a simplified fantasy of a perfect boyfriend, at his best he's a mentor and therapist to us all, offering timeless insight into dealing with the crushing pressures of adulthood and the so-called real world.
Isms, in my opinion, are not good. A person should not believe in an ism. He should believe in himself.
Here's our take on the Manic Pixie Dream Boy, the man who'll swoop in when you least expect it, but when you need him the most. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified about all our new videos. This video is brought to you by Mubi, a curated streaming service that takes the guesswork out of choosing what to watch next. Every day, Mubi premieres a new film. It's like having a Manic Pixie Dream Boy by your side to introduce you to exclusive indie gems and movies you can't find anywhere else. Right now, Mubi is offering our viewers 30 days free. Click the link in the description below to start streaming now.
Come with me, we'll never have to worry about grown-up things again.
One common denominator of the Manic Pixie Dream Boy is youth. Even when the character himself isn't young, he's young at heart.
Clown salute! Very good. Wide face.
The Manic Pixie Dream Boy is essentially a modern-day Peter Pan, the only child who never grows up.
For all children grow up, except one.
Just as Peter teaches Wendy and her brothers to fly, the goal of the Manic Pixie Dream Boy is to inspire those around him to harness their inner child. As a line in J.M. Barrie's novel puts it about flying, when people grow up, they forget the way. Like Peter, the MPDB abhors the upside-down values of grown-ups who don't understand the importance of play, or who spend their lives feeling they have to outrun a ticking clock.
I plan out our whole day. First we'll make snow angels for 2 hours, and then, to finish, we'll snuggle.
In fact, accessing your inner child has real-life benefits. Dr. Stephen Diamond writes that a lack of conscious relatedness to our own inner child is precisely where so many behavioral, emotional, and relationship difficulties stem from. In Elf, Buddy shows how embracing your inner child and finding joy in life are important parts of self-actualizing and connecting with people. When he first meets his love interest, Jovi, she is a holiday cynic and loner.
Please stop talking to me.
However, Buddy's genuine enthusiasm and exuberance cracks her rough exterior until she's willing to overcome her stage fright to spread Christmas cheer.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer
is singing loud for all to hear.
But he also influences his father, Walter, to recalibrate his life and transform from an emotionally distant workaholic
I'm gonna eat in the bedroom, okay? I got a bunch of stuff to go over.
to a man who will risk his career for his family.
If you want to keep your job, Hobbs, you will pitch me this book right now.
Up yours.
Yeah, up yours.
This leads us to a key difference between the Manic Pixie Dream Girl and Boy. The whole problem with the Manic Pixie Dream Girl is that she's always a love interest, a character who's just there to support the male protagonist with whom she has romantic chemistry.
And what do you get out of it?
I get to help you.
However, the Manic Pixie Dream Boy can be the protagonist, or he can influence all kinds of people: fathers, friends, students, and patients. Basically anyone around him who needs to rediscover the magic of being alive. A great example of this is John Keating in Dead Poets Society, who, despite being much older than his students, can see that these serious pupils in their high-pressure environment are desperately lacking in youthful rebellion.
I would like you to give us a demonstration of a barbaric yawp.
The Manic Pixie Dream Boy, as an embodiment of youth and rebellion, is also sometimes placed in opposition to other children. In Scottish indie film Beats, Spanner takes on the role of the Manic Pixie Dream Boy to the meek, anxious Jono.
He's actually really brave. I'm really just a coward next to him.
Despite Spanner's reckless behavior leading to trouble, Jono envies his friend's wild qualities and ultimately learns from his carefree attitude. Ferris Bueller fulfills a similar role with Cameron, pushing his mopey best friend to go on a series of fun, rebellious adventures that the movie reminds us are what life is really all about.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
By the end of the film, Ferris has helped Cameron move past his fear of breaking the rules, which allows Cameron to be honest with himself and those around him for the first time.
My old man pushes me around. I never say anything.
When Morris comes home, he and I'll just have a little chat.
In examples like Ferris and Spanner, we can interpret the Manic Pixie Dream Boy as representing an inner self that characters who are stuck need to let take the wheel. This concept of the inner self relates to psychologist Carl Jung's theories of the Anima and Animus. This admittedly binaried and heteronormative theory asserts that the Anima is the unconscious feminine side of men, and the Animus is the unconscious masculine side of women, and in order to be whole, we must tap into these hidden aspects of our personalities.
Teach me to ride like a man.
And chew tobacco like a man.
And spit like a man.
We can view the Manic Pixie Dream Boy trope through this lens when it comes to female characters who grow after absorbing the lessons of Manic Pixie Dream Boys.
Having something to say, and a way to say it so people listen to it, that's a whole other bag. And unless you get out there and you try to do it, you'll never know.
So you have a character like Tom in Last Christmas who swoops in to encourage Kate to be more present, more family-oriented, and to live a more charitable life.
You're built of everything you do.
Or you have Jack in Titanic, who encourages Rose to be assertive, independent, and to make decisions for herself. Kate and Rose are pushed in very different directions by Tom and Jack, one toward independence, the other toward family, but both Manic Pixie Dream Boys embody something that was already inside these heroines, and that just needed to come out.
It's not up to you to save me, Jack.
You're right. Only you can do that.
This inner animus theory becomes literal in the case of Last Christmas when it is revealed that, spoiler alert, Tom is an illusion. He died the year before, and Kate received his heart in a transplant.
Why can I feel you?
Because I'm a part of you.
There's even a potential reading of Titanic that posits Jack's not real.
We never found anything on Jack. There's no record of him at all.
Like Peter Pan, the MPDB sometimes feels almost supernatural, a character made of magic, or a piece of the psyche who inspires characters to rediscover their zest for life and stand up for their individuality, but can't permanently survive in the real world.
He was looking at the one joy from which he must be forever barred.
To live would be an awfully big adventure.
Once that agency is unlocked in the person he's helping, the Manic Pixie Dream Boy tends to disappear.
Success is not about the wins and losses.
It's about helping these young fellas be the best versions of themselves.
The Manic Pixie Dream Boy often feels like a life coach. As characters learn to view the world the way he sees it, they gain perspective, reevaluate their priorities, and establish a new set of rules to live by.
You know what the happiest animal on Earth is? It's a goldfish. It's got a 10-second memory. Be a goldfish, Sam.
At the extreme end of this scale, he can veer close to martyrdom. In the most recent iteration of A Star is Born, Jackson Maine helps his love Allie fulfill her potential as an artist and become a star.
You don't worry about why they're listening or how long they're going to be listening for. You just tell them what you want to say.
But when he can't escape his own personal problems, he decides to make sure he's not around to hold her back. And by the end of the movie, he lives on only through her. In The Fault in Our Stars, both Gus and Hazel are dealing with life-threatening diseases, but while Hazel is depressed, MPDB Gus confronts his own mortality and doesn't let his diagnosis hold him back.
You put the thing that does the killing right between your teeth, but you never give it the power to kill you. A metaphor.
His influence makes her see that even though life has challenges, there's a lot to live for.
It's a good life, Hazel Grace.
A similar conceit plays out in 5 Feet Apart, in which central couple Will and Stella also bond over mutual medical issues, but Will tries not to let this define him.
You need to lighten up. It's just life. It'll be over before you know it.
And underlining the MPDB's transient nature, he ultimately removes himself from the equation so that she can carry on living.
I need you to be safe.
Both Gus and Will illustrate how the Manic Pixie Dream Boy supports his love interest's independence and ability to move on without him. The effervescent, unbridled positivity of Ted Lasso also puts him in the Manic Pixie Dream Boy camp, and what's interesting is that his philosophies on life and coaching actually come at the expense of his team's athletic performances.
We're middle of the table, we've lost 3 or 4, and you want to know if the snacks in the locker room are tasty enough?
Are they?
At no point does he seem like a competent soccer coach, instead spending his time encouraging the star striker Jamie Tart to become more of a team player.
Jamie, I think that you might be so sure that you're 1 in a million that sometimes you forget that out there you're just 1 of 11.
Giving a new sense of purpose to the fading star Roy Kent.
It's the story of a young girl's struggle with the burden of leadership.
Am I supposed to be the little girl?
I like you to be.
And supporting the owner, Rebecca, even when she's actively undermining him.
I think that if you care about someone and you got a little love in your heart, there ain't nothing you can't get through together.
He comes in with ideas that are completely anathema to the world of soccer, but eventually his focus on the bigger picture beyond sporting success wins people over. And so while he fails in the league, it may just be better for the overall team in the long, long game.
You don't know what you're doing. But doesn't that mean that you see the game in a different way than any other football manager?
Still, there can be a naivety to this attitude, and for all of Lasso's charm on our TV screens, it's hard to imagine real-life fans who would want him as their team's manager. The dark side of the MPDB's willful naivety is explored through Werner Herzog's Grizzly Man, a profile on the late Timothy Treadwell, who spent 13 summers camping along grizzly bears in Alaska before eventually being killed by a grizzly bear. The film utilizes a lot of Treadwell's own footage and his own narration, which often shows him as loving, carefree, and childlike in nature.
Now let the expedition continue. It's off to Timmy the Fox. We've got to find Banjo. He's missing.
But Herzog's role in the film undercuts this. He challenges Treadwell's Manic Pixie Dream Boy leanings and openly disagrees with his view of the world.
In all the faces of all the bears that Treadwell ever filmed, I discover no kinship, no understanding, no mercy.
It's an interesting inversion of the trope, showing that while in the movies, the Manic Pixie Dream Boy can be a powerful agent for change, in the real world, his philosophies are hard and even dangerous to live by.
There are many times that I feel death is the best option. My work would be much more seriously looked at.
I was just wandering around everywhere, just looking for you.
There's also a version of the Manic Pixie Dream Boy who's just that, a dream of a boyfriend. A perfect man, sweet, supportive, kind, handsome, and most crucially, willing to shape his life around that of his partner.
I love you. I want to move into your apartment.
Your happiness is worth way more than winning some stupid bet.
In this aspect, he's similar to the Manic Pixie Dream Girl, an impossibly quirky partner who's more than willing to fit into the protagonist's life and not ask too much of him.
I'm completely cool with anything you want to say or not say.
I can change.
Yeah, don't bother. You can get mad at dumb stuff. That's your thing. I'll get over it. That's my thing. It's kind of perfect.
Still, there's something refreshing about the way that the MPDB offers an alternative to the old-school male hero, encouraging female independence and proposing a template for a healthy modern-day relationship, founded not only on equality, but also on men lifting women up. Maybe the most iconic Manic Pixie Dream Boy of the modern age is Peter Kavinsky, and by extension, Noah Centineo's real-life persona.
You were never second best.
Peter Kavinsky is the quintessential all-American boy, athletic, handsome, and popular. But historically, this archetype has had an iffy, sometimes misogynistic relationship with women.
Haven't you ever heard of the women's movement?
Well, sure. Put on something cute and move it into the kitchen.
But Peter appreciates and validates Lara Jean, and at the end of the series, sacrifices his own desire for them to go to college together to support her dream.
Of course you should go to New York. You should do all the things you want to do.
This same level of support is offered by two of 2010 sitcoms' dream boys, Parks and Recreation's Ben Wyatt and 30 Rock's Chris Cross.
A tiny little part of me that I hate wants to be a princess.
Liz, it's okay to be a human woman.
Both Ben and Chris are with ambitious, independent, and career-driven women.
Winning is every girl's dream, but it's my destiny.
And they embrace their partner's success, as well as their world's progress in making huge strides toward equality.
Let's see what Mrs. Wyatt has baked up for us, shall we?
It's actually Ms. No.
This contrasts with how similar characters have acted in the past, like when Sex and the City's Steve feels threatened by Miranda's success.
There's always gonna be things out of my reach.
So I'm being punished for being successful.
A clear draw to the Manic Pixie Dream Boy is his emotional intelligence and ability to express himself.
The moon never beams without bringing me dreams of beautiful Lara Jean.
In romantic situations, the MPDB often challenges typical gender roles by being the pursued, not the pursuer.
We should have sex. If you want.
In The Holiday, MPDB Graham admits to being intimidated by the fact that Amanda owns her own business.
I'm still a little intimidated by it.
Well, little is way ahead of the curve.
But he never feels emasculated by the power imbalance between them, and has no problem showcasing his more feminine and nurturing side.
She has more marshmallows than me.
No, she doesn't. You each have 5.
In the end, it's precisely this part of him that makes him such an ideal match for Amanda.
I have the girls' New Year's Eve.
Sounds perfect.
The Manic Pixie Dream Boy is all about gaining perspective. He offers a template for how to live a fulfilling adult life, which depends most of all on staying in touch with your inner child. He reminds us that our time is limited, but that just means we must make the most of it.
Each and every one of us in this room is one day going to stop breathing.
He also suggests that you maintain a sense of independence within a relationship and not let yourself become defined by personal challenges or hardship. If the old-fashioned notion of a dream boy was about finding someone to take care of you, then the Manic Pixie Dream Boy enables you to take care of yourself.
Be good to yourself, 'cause nobody else has the power to make you happy.
This is The Take on your favorite movies, shows, and culture.
Thank you so much for watching and for supporting us.
Please subscribe and never miss a take.
Thanks again to Mubi for sponsoring today's video. This month, in celebration of Pride, I highly recommend checking out The Wise Kids. The 2-time winner at Outfest Los Angeles Gay and Lesbian Film Festival depicts a dynamic coming of age following 3 members of a Baptist church living in Charleston. If you're anything like me, these days you may be totally uninspired and stuck when it comes to figuring out what to watch next. Subscribing to Mubi completely fixes that. Their team of curators handpicks every film they show, so there's always something new to discover. They seriously love movies as much as we do, so their recommendations are always top-notch. As a special gift to our viewers, Mubi is offering 30 days free, so click the link in the description below to start streaming now.